What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. I hope all of you guys and girls are having a fantastic day, and today we're going to be making another Starcraft 2 video for all of you. This one, guys, is between two players you may not know much about, but nonetheless are on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 16-bit LE, playing with the Protoss pieces. He goes by the name of Gerald. And on the opposite side, top right-hand corner, playing with the Zerg pieces, we have a player who goes by the name of SKillous. So, guys, both of these players, I have casted some games here, on the channel. You guys can check those out. But I'm really excited about this game. We're gonna see, because both guys have, different talents in specific areas. So I'm really excited to see what these guys are gonna end up doing. We should be in for a fun matchup. So Gerald looks like he's going for a pretty standard gateway into a gas geyser, and on the opposite side of the map looks relatively standard, guys. We got a hatch. Gas pool is what looks like what SKillous is going to end up doing here. And so hatch, gas pool, relatively standard on both sides of the game. So look, guys, I'm actually really enjoying, I really like watching the ZVP matchup. I think it's a pretty fun matchup to watch, just to see what different players are really going for, different kinds of strategies. And that's why I love watching, maybe not the highest level of some of the StarCraft. Of course, we love those games, but I also really enjoy watching the games that are a little bit lower. This was a huge pickup here, guys. That was really well done by SKillous. He ends up getting the surround on the probe. So that probe was just trying to piss off SKillous just enough that he decides to get a couple of his drones and surround that probe. Very nicely done by him. So we get an expansion for Gerald, and it looks like he's also moving into the cybernetics core as well. We have this probe. Looks like he's gonna put a pylon down up in this top left-hand corner of the map. Very interesting, and we'll have to keep an eye on that, guys. But I'm really, I like the setup so far by both of these players. I'm not really sure who I'm really favoring at this point. I'm not really favoring either of them quite yet. Looks like we're getting the speed upgrade for our Zerg player. And now we see the tech of choice by the Protoss. Looks like he's going to be going for a Stargate. Now, this is going to be a proxy Stargate. This is very interesting. I'm not sure why he decided to put it into this corner. I would have assumed maybe here or something, but okay. Anyway, I mean, we'll see kind of what happens here, guys, but there's going to be some aggression coming relatively soon to our Zerg player as he gets his goes into his third base here. As we have the Adept is starting to shade into the natural. I'm interested to see kind of what our... he's probably just going to try to get some scouting information here. We have a few Zerglings out as well. Zergling speed is coming up as well. Should be done relatively soon here. Let's see. So he's going to go Oracle. So I was assuming he was probably going to go Oracles because this is generally when you're going to try to get aggressive with the Stargate. A lot of times it seems that you go with the Oracles, unless if you want to, you can of course go with Phoenixes, but you're going to need a decent amount of Phoenixes to really start doing some harassment. Anyways, this Adept is just kind of chilling back here. And it doesn't seem like even SKillous even knew that this Adept was over here. Maybe he did, I'm not sure. But either way, there is some aggression that is coming right now, guys. Over to, there's no spore crawlers at this point. Now I'm assuming immediately when our Zerg sees this, he is going to make some spores. But at the same time, it looks like he's going to get a good amount of kills here. This has not been scouted, guys, as far as we can tell, at least at this point. Looks like he's going to get some drone kills for sure. Another Oracle is on its way over. I'm assuming now that he knows the tech of choice. He's still getting a lot of value out of this, out of the Oracle. I'm incredibly surprised. Now this is going to be interesting. Is he going to get the kill on the Queen? He did get the kill on the Queen, and it looks like SKillous still has not transitioned into making some spore crawlers, which I'm really that's really surprising, that decision. Now the Zerglings are going to take out this pylon down here, and it looks like this aggression is probably going to end right here and right now. At least for the time being. He's got Phoenixes now that are out on the map. Looks like he's also going into 4 additional gateways here, which looks like I'm wondering if our Protoss player is going to continue the aggression here, or if he's just going to kind of sit back and start building up a bigger and bigger army. War Prism is coming up, as well as the Twilight Council. It's research in charge right now. The Templar Archives is also being constructed. So I'm really wondering, how is our Zerg player going to respond to this? Looks like the Roach Warren's coming out, so that's going to be the tech of choice, which I think that's going to probably be a good option, especially now that he's going to go ahead and he's going to get his lair. So he's getting the lair, so now he can get the lair upgrades. I'm wondering if he's going to go Hydras or if he's going to go with something else. That should be quite interesting. He's getting the evolution chamber that is skillless that I'm talking about, and so I'm assuming he's going to start getting his upgrades relatively soon as well. So, should be interesting. Looks like these Zerglings are going to see what they can do here on the opposite side of the map. They know now that there is a third base that is coming up, so that's a big scout for our Zerg player. Looks like the Zerg might be planning on getting his 4th base here relatively soon. At the same time, the War Prism is dropping off a couple of these Archons, or High Templars, that are morphing now into Archons, as well as a Zealot, and then or a couple of Zealots. So this should be interesting. He's going to go ahead. Our Zerg player does know about this. He knows that this is coming. He did make a pretty big scout there with the Zerglings, so this should be interesting. I'm assuming that this might actually do a decent amount of damage. This might hurt quite a bit, because we don't have any other units currently down in this 3rd expansion for our Zerg, and I am not sure if he's going to be able to hold on. He's going to need to he's getting so much value out of these Archons. That is our Protoss player. Oh my god, guys, these Archons are just going to work on all these drones, and just like that, he's going to get picked up. He's going to be able to move out. So, guys, that did such huge damage there. SKillous, that is going to really, I feel now it's going to trigger possibly a counterattack from our Zerg player. And just as I'm saying this, we've got the Archons are back into the 3rd base location, and I'm not sure. He's going to try to snipe another queen. And I'm wondering if he's going to get it. He is going to get that queen, and they are going to get one of the Archons. And he's still going to get a couple of these drone kills. A couple more drone kills. What this is doing, though, guys, more importantly than anything, is actually keeping our Zerg opponent at home. Instead of moving across the map, it's going to make him forced to split up part of his army. Of course, we have the Hydra Den. We have the Hydra upgrades coming. Looks like +1 is almost done, and he's getting his 4th base. So, even with all of that damage that Gerald just did, he did get some drone kills and such, but as far as I can really tell, it seems to me that our Zerg player is still in okay position, but I'm really liking the position currently of our Protoss. He's making more and more gateways, as well as another robotics facility. I'm assuming he's going to start trying to create more and more of these Immortals. But we should see, it should be interesting to see what happens. So a little bit of a standstill here. Looks like this War Prism needs to be careful, otherwise it's going to get sniped by some of these Hydras. So with that said, guys, we do have a Overseer here, or Observer, is kind of getting a little bit of some information here and there. But I still like the position, even though our Zerg player has a lot of units at this point. I'm still liking the current position of the Protoss. He's got a lot of these High Templars, which I've been saying this for a while, guys. The Storms are some of the most, one of the strongest spells in the entire game, in my opinion. The Protoss Storms is just incredible, and they're getting their 4th base at this point. I'm really liking the position currently for Gerald. But if I'm the Zerg player at this point, and look, guys, I'm not a pro gamer, so I really, these guys are going to know better than myself, but I really would have probably pushed earlier, and I wonder if SKillous is going to kind of regret not pushing. across the map. Now, he does have a big force. He's going to have to be careful, though. These storms are going to have to be on point here because he has a massive force. That is the Zerg player here. But these storms, guys, he's not going to run out of them at any time really soon. Let's just put it that way. It looks like that these Zealots are going to try to snipe this fourth hatchery here, but that is not going to happen. They're going to make short work of it. And then, at the same time, there is a Warp Prism that's going to make a drop in the third base location of our Zerg player, but he's able to hold that off. So that's well done. And I think it was really smart for our Protoss player, Gerald, to kind of back up, take a step back. It looks like they're still trying to do some damage here. And they're definitely, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what Gerald is doing so well, is really splitting up the army of the Zerg. Now, I'm not sure what all these drones are doing, why SKillous is sending all these drones. I'm assuming he made them all flee the main base. It looks like there might be an engagement here. A big engagement is coming, guys, and it looks like with some really good landed storms, I'm assuming, yeah, this would be a bad decision for our Zerg player to kind of really move into all of those High Templars as well as Immortals. So this should be really interesting, a really interesting concept here, and a really interesting composition for the Zerg player. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna start moving towards the natural expansion of our Protoss player, and just like that, it looks like maybe the Protoss player is a little bit caught across the map here. Some of his army is kind of separated here. It looks like he's going to mass recall. I'm not sure if it's going to be over to his main base, but it looks like, guys, right now the Zerg player is doing a lot of damage here. At the same time, across the map, there was a drop here in the second base location, which has been kind of the Achilles heel for the Zerg player. And at the same time, it looks like, guys, this could get really messy really quickly. These storms, if they're landed well, could do crippling amounts of damage to our Zerg player. But the Protoss has lost one base as well as the Zerg player. So it's almost an eye for an eye here, guys, between these two players. Now, I will say this. SKillous did probably win that engagement. He did win the engagement because he did slow down the Protoss army quite a bit. And these Dropper Lords are dropping off more and more of these Hydras, and they're in such a good location here. But I would say that these Archons are going to make short work of those, of them very easily. So a lot is going on, guys, across the map here. There's just a lot happening. I think that SKillous might be trying to make a death blow here to our Protoss, but I will say this. The Protoss has a very strong army. This army is not to be messed with, guys. Even though we got a lot of Hydras and Roaches, these Archons mixed with High Templars as well as Immortals is going to be very scary to deal with. And he's kind of splitting off his army here. I'm not sure the exact reasoning. Oh, he's picking them up into the Dropper Lords, but these Archons are ready. They are ready, and these, oh my, and these Dropper Lords are running extremely low here. Very, very low. But this one Archon's basically going to get picked up for free, and the rest of the Zerg army is trying to move into the fourth base location, and it looks like he's going to try to get somewhat of a chokehold here, but this Protoss army is just a little bit too scary, and I think that it's smart for SKillous to kind of back off. But at the same time, he's got a couple of Roaches as well as some Hydras that are starting to move into this fourth base location as well. And then it's kind of I'm wondering if this is the best decision for our Zerg player. He's trying to kind of split off his army here, but I just don't know if our Zerg is really playing this the best way that he possibly can. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell. There's just a lot of High Templar here, and that's what's making this army look kind of scary. Now you got to be careful though. All of these Zealots are starting to run up into the Zerg's main base location, and I don't think he's going to probably get much value out of these Zealots. I'm not sure where the Zealots are running to, but at the same time, the remainder of this Protoss army is moving towards the third base location, or I should say the fourth base location, and it looks like he's going to try to take out this base once and for all. So, while this is happening, it looks like our Zerg player SKillous is moving across the map here. And I'm assuming, yep, the mass recall does happen. Perfect location. He doesn't want to lose that. So essentially what's happening here, guys, is there's so many different units moving across the map here. And what SKillous is doing is he's really moving his army to different areas. He's picking up little bits of zealots here and there. And it looks like he's going ahead and he's trying to get this base location here. And the main army, though, is going to basically pick up these units for practically free. And that is something that I think our Protoss will take any day. And it looks like they're going to try to take out this fourth base location for the Protoss, because the Protoss army is relatively slow here. So they have zealots up here at near the top left-hand corner of 16-bit, and they're going to try to force the cancel here. I really don't know what I think at this point. I feel like Gerald had a really good chance to really close out this game, but he's kind of allowed SKillous to kind of crawl his way back into the game. And there is a lot of Hydras here. There is a lot of Hydras. And I would be relatively worried here if I were the Protoss player. He's got to start moving back. He's going to try to force the surround on all of these Zerg units. But I'm not sure. I think they're both a little bit worried to try to take the engagement, because they're both kind of wondering, where is the Protoss army? And the Protoss army is picking up a lot of these units for practically free, so it should be interesting when these two teams, or these two players, clash here. What is going to happen? A couple of Archons are going to get some practically free drone kills here, and at the same time, it looks like the big engagement is happening here near the bottom right-hand corner. And it looks like that engagement, though, I feel like those storms are really good, but I feel like the Zerg still has the advantage here. He gets a couple of these High Templars. He could really do some significant damage here. But it looks like these storms are really on point right now. It just seems like the storms are really are very well put together. Then there's a big he's warping in a decent amount of more units. That's High Templars as well as Immortals. And then, of course, the main Zerg army is moving across the map again. And they are going to, it looks like this might turn into an interesting scenario, because we have both players are trying to control different, a bunch of different units here at the same exact time. And this is an interesting thing. The switch over to Mutalisks actually might be exactly what needed to happen for the Zerg to get the edge here over our Protoss player. This was a huge move, moving into Mutalisks, and all these units besides the Archons cannot shoot up. So now with the Mutas, guys, they're going to get free range of these Immortals as well as these High Templars. And I don't know, guys, we're in for a base race here. All of these Zerg units, it looks like, guys and girls, he's got a lot of SKillous, that is, has a lot of these spine crawlers that could do some damage as well. But all of these mutas right now, he is just getting as many mutas as he possibly can. At the same time, guys, the Protoss army is kind of dwindling. His supply is dwindling as well. Actually, when you look at it, the supply counts are about even at this point. But I'm not going to lie, guys. It seems to me that our Zerg player could very well end this right here and right now, as long as all of these Immortals, though, are going to do some significant damage to all these Hydras. This is an army that you really are not going to want to really fight against, at least at this point. And the Storm, he picks up and drops off, and then the Storm with the High Templar was beautiful, really injuring a lot of these units. So I don't know, guys. I don't know how I think this game is going to end. But it is an intense game, guys. This is intense. I am not going to lie. I was not expecting this. I was thinking, with the Mutalisk switch, I kind of thought, you know what? I'm pretty sure that SKillous may very well have done it. And now we have our Archon moving into the main base here. He's going to try to get a bunch of larva kills. He's going to try to get some of these kills on the Overlords. Wow, guys, this is going to be an interesting base race scenario. I'm wondering how our Protoss, since he's basically has no mining at all right now, and we have long distance mining for SKillous, I like the current situation that SKillous is in, because he's making a base down here, and he's rebuilding that base, and our Protoss player is being completely soaked dry of resources. Our Zerg has lurkers as well as some hydras and roaches, and he can also have the option of possibly making more mutas. So I don't know, guys. This is a really interesting situation here. Now, the longer that this goes, though, our Protoss player is going to try to get another base up and running here. I feel as if the Zerg has done crippling amounts of damage. He needs to move across the map, and I think that's what he's planning on doing here very, very shortly. If SKillous can get a couple more of these mutas out, and that's exactly what he's doing right now, it might be GG's, guys. These Immortals, though, we've got a decent amount of Immortals here, and I don't know, guys. As well as one High Templar, it could be relatively interesting, but at the same time, is there any detection? I don't think there's any detection right now, guys, for our Protoss player here. There is absolutely no detection. So right now, as it stands, if this High Templar goes down, I think it's going to be game over. Now, all these, at the same time, this War Prism was doing some damage, or was dropping off more of these Zealots, but I think that the Zealots are going to be dealt with here very soon, and I'm assuming that we are going to have all of these lurkers are going to kind of slow push on the Protoss player. Very interesting. He's trying as hard as he can currently to get the robotics facility, maybe to get the observer out, but he at this point can absolutely do nothing. If this High Templar goes down, I think it's going to be game over, everyone. And with the mutas and everything else that's going to be coming out of our Zerg player, it might just be too much Zerg at this point. With no detection for our Protoss player, I think that is going to do it for this match. And this was a back and forth fight, guys, and this is why I love even the lower level StarCraft 2 players. I love casting these games because even though it's lower level, these guys might have some tricks up their sleeves and still give us some very high quality and fun games. I hope you guys did enjoy this cast from these two players, Gerald and SKillous. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.